Hi you guys. So today we're going to be doing the first of my Halloween series of beverages. I mentioned in an earlier blog post that Halloween in the spooky thematic sense was never really my holiday. I love Halloween. I love the dressing up and the candy and the crunchy leaves, all that good stuff. But in terms of making drinks themed in a Halloween way, it's never really been something I've done before. So I'm super looking forward to this challenge. And with that said, we'll jump right in. This first drink that we're going to be doing is a gin drink. I am not sponsored by Bombay, but that is what we are going to be using. You can use any kind of gin that you have at home, any gin that you like, preferably not one with a super overwhelming like cucumber flavor. Definitely want something a little bit more on the juniper side to kind of pull out some of the other aromatic ingredients that we're going to be using, like fresh rosemary. So to get started, we're going to do about a half an ounce of lemon juice. I've already juiced a couple of lemons here just to have it on hand. So using a little tablespoon measure here, measure out about a half an ounce, maybe a little bit more if you're feeling like you want something kind of citrusy, extra citrus. So a half an ounce of lemon juice. Then we're gonna come in with about 3/4 of an ounce of apricot spread, apricot jam, apricot, whatever you can find at the store that's got apricot, that's what you want. So we're gonna come in with about 3/4 of an ounce. You can use a jigger, you can use tablespoons or measuring spoons or whatever you have to make life easier. But yeah, just some nice apricot flavor in there. Of course, it's all gonna get stuck at the bottom. Wah, wah. All right, 3/4 of an ounce of apricot spread. Gonna want to come in with 1 egg white, crack that into a separate tin just to make sure you don't get any shell or yolk bits. If your yolk breaks, that happened to me last week when I was working on a drink, and it's a little challenging. We made it through. Keep the yolks if you're using them for something. Some people like to make ice cream or bake with them or whatnot, but we're gonna get rid of the yolk. We're gonna throw in just a couple, like I'm talking maybe this much rosemary. It's not a lot. I tried doing about a half a sprig and it was tremendously overpowering. And you don't want the rosemary to be overpowering, but you want it to be present. But when you're drinking a glass of rosemary, it can be a little bit much. So just a tiny bit of rosemary. You can always add rosemary, but you can't take it out. And there will be some nice rosemary in our garnish too. And then we're gonna finish it off with 2 ounces of gin. Just a little extra. Get those last bits of apricot out of my jigger. All right. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a nice little dry shake. So no ice, just the ingredients. Do be careful. Sometimes when you're dry shaking, depending on the composition of your drink, the tins will pop apart mid-shake. So just be mindful. Try to keep an ear and a feel on the pressure in your tins. Get a nice little workout. Let's take a little check, see how things are going. They're getting there. They're getting frothy, but they can get frothier. Keep shaking. You're probably gonna wanna shake for about 30 seconds, all told, pretty hard. If you have a little bit of a lighter shake, you might wanna shake for maybe even as much as 40. But you really want to get that egg white nice and fluffy. And again, if you are a vegan or if you're on a plant-based diet, you have an egg allergy, whatever it may be, you can substitute aquafaba or chickpea liquid for your egg white. I talked about that in a previous post as well. So be sure to keep your eyes on the blog. Lots of little tidbits and recipes that hopefully are festive or help you get a little more in the festive spirit. I know this year's been a challenge for a lot of people, but if we can find little ways to be happy and little things to help us stay happy, then I'm all about it. All right, we're getting pretty good and frothy, so I'm gonna throw some ice in here. A little more ice. That seems good. Okay. And now we're gonna shake for about 15 seconds, just chill it down. Option here now is to, there she is, take the ice out and do another dry shake. That is totally something you can do. You also don't have to. It will affect the thickness and the fluffiness of your foam. So if you want a thicker, fluffier foam, take the ice out and strain it again one more time. Or shake it again one more time, no ice. So we're gonna strain this bad boy. Strainer. We're going to double strain this. Make sure you get all that good foam out of your shaker. You want that in the drink. And then just give it some taps. Help it sift itself. All out of the way for now. And then you can see she's looking very, I don't know how the Instagrammers, the YouTubers do the thing with the hands, but you can see there's some foam on top. It could be a lot foamier, so I highly recommend a second dry shake. It won't affect the flavor. This is still gonna taste really good. To garnish this bad boy, it wouldn't be a Halloween theme without a little pumpkin carved from a piece of orange skin, orange rind. Just cut a little circle off of the orange. You can just use a regular knife to do that. That'll help you get a more circular kind of cut than with a peeler. You will get a little bit more pith. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna scrape some of that white, bitter flesh off of the back of the slice so that bitterness doesn't get too much into your drink. And then just take a really sharp knife, very, very carefully, and carve it like you would a little pumpkin. Put some little eyes and a little smile in there. Then you're gonna take a sprig of rosemary, give them a little piece of rosemary to kind of chew on. However it fits, if it fits better through the eye and you wanna do that, great. Wherever it fits, however it fits in your glassware. You can totally use a coupe for this. I'm using these glasses because I don't have coupes presently, and that's totally cool. Whatever you have at home, it's really no pressure, no big deal. And then just kind of balance your garnish on top of your drink, however you feel most appropriate. Ideally, play with a little bit of fire in this one too. See if I can do this. I'm right-handed, and this is on my left side. Very carefully. Burn the tips of your rosemary. Try not to burn yourself. That's a little better. Burn before you put on the drink. I'm a professional, guys. I know what I'm doing. Just enough to get a little bit of smoke. And there you go, guys. Little festive apricot gin. Essentially a sour. I made one for myself earlier to test out my recipe. super good. You get that nice sweetness from the apricot, the extra herbaceous note from the rosemary. The aroma of the smoked rosemary really makes it. It really adds a nice little touch. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in and checking out the first of my Halloween posts. Please feel free to leave a comment. If you have any questions, send me an email, send me a DM. The Instagram account for this blog is @TheRaisedGlass. So it's just our name on Instagram. Give us a follow. Any questions, comments, concerns, hit me up. I love feedback. I love hearing what you guys are drinking, how you're tweaking the recipe to fit maybe your flavor, your personal flavor preferences. Yeah, let me know, guys. Cheers. Happy Halloween.